Welcome back, American Coin Hunter. Let me take you on a fascinating journey into the world of United States coins, specifically one of the most common and yet unexpectedly interesting coins ever issued, the 1979 D Lincoln 1-cent coin. This coin might look ordinary at first glance. It might look like just a penny, something you have in your pocket right now. But I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at a 1979 penny the same way again. You will understand its story, its design, its production, its technical specifics, its history, and most importantly, how collectors and dealers around the world value it today. Some people even mistakenly think this coin is worth millions of dollars, so we'll talk about that too. Now imagine you're holding this coin in your hand. It weighs just a tiny bit more than a paperclip. That weight, approximately 3.11 grams, tells us an important story about the 1979 penny. Unlike modern pennies made after 1982, this coin was struck when the United States Mint was still producing pennies out of a heavy copper alloy composed of 95% copper with the remaining 5% consisting of tin and zinc. That alloy gave these pennies a satisfying weight and a rich reddish-brown luster when uncirculated. At 3.11 grams and 19 millimeters in diameter, the physical presence of this penny already sets it apart from pennies struck after 1982. Which weighs significantly less due to a shift to copper-plated zinc JUST for cost savings on materials. The design itself goes back decades. On the front, the obverse, we see the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right. This portrait was originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Brenner's depiction of Lincoln was so powerful and iconic that it became the longest-running design on any U.S. coin. When you hold a Lincoln cent in your hand, you are holding a piece of artistic history that America has used continuously for over a century. Now flip the coin over. On the reverse, you see the Lincoln Memorial, a detailed engraving showing the neoclassical monument in Washington, D.C. This reverse design was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the earlier wheat ears design that had been used since 1909. The reverse was designed by Frank Gasparo, a notable engraver at the U.S. Mint. Look closely at that tiny representation of a building, and you might even see the statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. That level of detail on a coin only 19 millimeters across is truly remarkable. Now let's talk about where this particular penny was made. The small letter D stamped just below the date on the obverse tells us it was minted at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint, one of the primary mints of the United States, began coin production in the early 20th century and has minted billions of coins for circulation. In 1979 alone, the Denver Mint produced over 4.1 billion of these Lincoln cents, which makes the 1979 D penny one of the most commonly encountered coins in pocket change from that era. But here's where things start to get really interesting. If you pull a 1979 D penny out of circulation today, the chance of it being worth more than face value depends almost entirely on its condition, variety, and whether it has any unusual feature or error. The vast majority of them, those that have been in circulation, worn smooth by wallets and pockets, are worth about 2 to 3 cents. Mostly because of the value of the copper inside the coin. Even though the face value is 1 cent, the metal content alone today is worth a few cents more. Collectors sometimes refer to that as the melt value, although it's illegal to actually melt U.S. coins for their metal content. What really drives excitement among collectors, though, is condition. In coin collecting, each coin is graded on a scale from pour up through extremely fine and then uncirculated, and at the highest end, mint state grades. A 1979 D penny in circulated condition, even slightly worn, is still just a penny. But an uncirculated example, one that has never been used in transactions and still has original luster, can be worth significantly more. Typical uncirculated coins might trade in the range of tens of cents to a few dollars if they have strong color and clean surfaces. Now here's where things get dramatic. Because of the extreme number of coins minted and the popularity of Lincoln cents for collectors worldwide, condition rarities have emerged that push values into astonishing territory. For example, high-grade MS67 plus red RD specimens, that means nearly flawless examples with full red original color, have been documented selling at auction for nearly $4,000 or more. One such recorded sale was around $3,995 in an auction where a specimen with superb eye appeal commanded collector interest far above typical market prices. Let's pause for a moment and really think about that. A coin that started life as a 1-cent piece nearly half a century ago, tossed into circulation by the millions, can, in its most pristine, virtually uncirculated form, be worth thousands of times its face value. That kind of price premium is what makes coin collecting so thrilling for so many people around the world. It's not just coins with old dates or ancient coins that are valuable. Modern coins can be incredibly collectible too, especially when condition, rarity, and collector demand intersect. Collectors and grading services use very detailed criteria to assign grades to coins. For a Lincoln cent to be graded at MS67 or above, it has to have extremely sharp detail on Lincoln's hair and coat, crisp strike on the memorial on the reverse, and absolutely minimal marks or contact points from other coins. The color also plays a huge role. Original red luster, often abbreviated RD by collectors, tends to fetch higher prices than coins that have oxidized to brown or a mixed red-brown (RB) appearance. This is because red coins show their original surfaces very well, and those original surfaces are far rarer on pennies that have been exposed to circulation for decades. You might have heard rumors or misinformation that a 1979 D penny is worth millions of dollars. Let me be very clear. There is no verified record of any 1979 D penny selling for hundreds of millions or anywhere close to $296 million. That figure you might have heard is likely a misunderstanding or misinformation, perhaps from someone exaggerating the idea of rarity. While certain coins in the world can reach extremely high values, rare rarities like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, the 1979 D penny does not have that level of scarcity. Its real market value, for genuine high-grade pieces, is in the thousands, not millions. Let's talk a bit more about how coin experts evaluate these pennies today. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC examine each coin and assign it a grade based on strict criteria. A coin graded MS60 is an uncirculated coin with average mint state quality, while an MS67 or MS68 is near the absolute pinnacle. In 1979's case, an MS67 Plus RD coin is considered extremely rare because even well-preserved coins tend to have slight contact marks or minor imperfections. In fact, for many collector-oriented Lincoln cents, moving up just one grade under the same visual appeal can represent hundreds or even thousands of dollars difference in price. While coins and collector grading holders can command significant premiums, the reality for most 1979 D pennies you find in your pocket or jar is very different. Circulated coins, those that show signs of wear because they pass through millions of transactions, are essentially worth their face value or just a bit more for copper content. Even coins that are uncirculated but lack red color and show only brown surfaces are generally worth only a little more than face, sometimes a few cents. It's the combination of perfect strike, full original redness, and absence of flaws that elevates certain examples into prized collectibles. Now let's address something else that fascinates many collectors: varieties and potential errors. In the case of the 1979 D penny, true major double-die varieties on the Lincoln cent are not widely recognized for this date. However, subtle varieties like repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D mint mark was struck more than once in slightly different positions, do exist and are popular with variety collectors. These RPM examples can be worth more than their common counterparts, especially if the repunching is prominent and visually interesting. Continuing our journey with the 1979 D Lincoln cent, it's fascinating to consider the coin not just as currency, but as a reflection of its era. The late 1970s were a time of economic changes, inflation, and shifts in public consciousness, and coins like the 1979 penny circulated through countless hands, touching everyday lives in ways we often overlook. Imagine, in 1979, this penny being used to buy a pack of gum, a newspaper, or contribute to a tip, and now, over 40 years later, that same coin is being studied and collected for its potential historical and financial value. The idea that a coin can move from something mundane to something collectible, from pocket change to a museum or auction lot, is what makes numismatics endlessly intriguing. Collectors often focus on the specific minting details that make coins from certain years stand out. In the case of the 1979 D, even minor variations in strike quality, mint mark placement, or luster can have a meaningful impact on value. Coins minted at the Denver facility were struck using high-speed presses that produced millions of coins daily. While the vast majority of these pennies are ordinary, the tiniest differences, perhaps a slightly misaligned mint mark, a doubling effect from a misfeed, or a subtle die crack, can suddenly transform a simple penny into a sought-after collectible. It's these small nuances that coin collectors and numismatic experts meticulously study, often using magnifying lenses, microscopes, and professional-grade books to identify coins that are more than ordinary. The grading of a 1979 D penny is central to its valuation. Most circulated examples are considered good or very good, exhibiting noticeable wear but still recognizable in detail. These coins usually hold little more than face value. But as coins improve in condition, they move into higher tiers: fine, very fine, extra fine, about uncirculated, and finally into the mint state category. Mint state coins are those that have never entered circulation and retain their original mint luster. A 1979 D penny graded as MS65 or higher is particularly exciting to collectors, as examples of this grade are rare due to handling and storage over decades. MS67 red coins are considered top-tier examples, almost flawless in strike, color, and surface, and can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. It's this grading spectrum that brings the story of the coin alive, emphasizing how condition transforms value over time. That it's worth noting that coin value is not static. It fluctuates according to the numismatic market, collector demand, and even broader economic trends. For instance, copper prices influence the minimum baseline value of circulated pennies, while high-grade collectors' coins respond to scarcity and collector interest. Auction results, dealer listings, and coin shows collectively create a dynamic marketplace, where coins like the 1979 D Lincoln Cent gain or lose value depending on timing, market sentiment, and the rarity of the specific specimen. High-demand periods, especially around holidays or collectible-focused events, can temporarily increase premiums for top-quality coins. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting 1979 D pennies is the hunt for varieties and errors. While the 1979 D Lincoln Cent is generally considered a standard issue, subtle die varieties do exist. These include repunched mint marks, slight doubling effects, and occasional minor die cracks or planchet anomalies. Even though major double die varieties for 1979 D are extremely rare or not officially listed, collectors often scrutinize coins for these subtle characteristics, as they can add significant collector value. For example, an off-center strike or a slight repunching of the Denver D could draw attention from variety collectors, who actively seek out these anomalies for their uniqueness and scarcity. Beyond grading and errors, coin provenance can also add allure and value. Provenance refers to a coin's ownership history or documented pedigree. A 1979 D penny that belonged to a notable collector, was part of a significant collection, or was purchased at a famous auction may gain additional interest. Even though the coin's face or copper content doesn't change, the story behind it elevates it beyond mere metal into an object of historical and emotional significance. This storytelling aspect makes coin collecting not only financially interesting, but personally rewarding. Collectors often document the journey of a coin from the mint to their own hands, preserving a record that can span generations. Another fascinating consideration is storage and preservation. Coins from 1979, especially those in uncirculated condition, must be handled with care to maintain their value. Even a single fingerprint or scratch can drastically reduce the market price of a high-grade coin. Collectors typically store coins in archival quality holders, capsules, or albums to prevent contact with oils, moisture, and air, which can degrade copper and cause toning. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC often encapsulate coins in protective holders after grading, preserving the grade and providing certification, which in turn increases buyer confidence and market value. The appeal of the 1979 D penny is also deeply tied to its cultural significance. Lincoln pennies are universally recognized in America and beyond. Every collector, historian, or casual observer can instantly identify the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln and the iconic memorial. This timeless recognition strengthens the coin's collectability. Even for young collectors or people new to numismatics, the 1979 D penny serves as a gateway coin, an approachable entry into a hobby that spans historical research, market evaluation, and artistic appreciation. Many collectors also find joy in comparing the 1979 D with pennies from other years and mints. Comparing it with its Philadelphia counterpart, the 1979 P, or with coins from the San Francisco Mint, reveals differences in minting quality, die usage, and strike characteristics. These comparisons deepen understanding of mint operations, production volumes, and the subtle shifts in coin design and technique that occurred during that era. It is often these comparative studies that highlight the rarity or desirability of particular mint marks, grades, or die variations. Finally, the 1979 D Lincoln cent exemplifies a central principle in coin collecting. That value emerges at the intersection of rarity, condition, provenance, and collector demand. While most 1979 D pennies remain everyday coins, those few uncirculated examples in top condition, or with rare errors or varieties, can command thousands of dollars. Every coin tells a story, and the 1979 D is no exception. A small, humble piece of copper that bridges decades of history, art, and human experience, waiting for the right eye to recognize its worth. It serves as a reminder that even something as ordinary as a penny can contain the extraordinary, the potential for discovery, historical insight, and the thrill of collecting. Continuing with the story of the 1979 D Lincoln cent, it's important to understand how collectors actually determine market value. Unlike stocks or commodities, coins don't have a fixed price. Value emerges from a complex mix of supply, demand, rarity, condition, and sometimes even the stories behind the coins. For the 1979 D penny, millions were minted, making it widely available in circulation, yet only a fraction of these coins survive today in pristine, uncirculated condition. That tiny fraction is where the real excitement happens. When collectors or dealers encounter a 1979 D penny that is uncirculated and has a vibrant red color, it immediately draws attention. In auctions, such coins can sell for several $1,000s, and sometimes more, depending on grading and market demand at that moment. Consider a hypothetical scenario. Imagine a coin collector at a local coin show spotting a 1979 D penny in near-perfect condition among a box of common circulated coins. To the casual observer, it looks ordinary, a penny like any other. But the collector knows to check the mint mark, examine the luster, and evaluate for scratches or contact marks. If the coin has full red coloration and is free of blemishes, it might be an MS65 or MS66 red. Such a coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, far exceeding its face value. This difference between ordinary and extraordinary is what makes numismatics so thrilling. The ability to spot potential treasure where others see mere pocket change. Auction results provide some of the clearest indicators of market value. High-grade 1979 D pennies have historically fetched impressive prices. For example, in the past decade, certified MS67 red coins have sold for over $3,500, while coins graded MS66 red often reach between $1,000 and $2,000. The jump in value between one grade and another may seem surprising, but in coin collecting, incremental improvements in strike quality, luster, and absence of imperfections can exponentially increase desirability. These small differences represent the essence of what collectors pay for: perfection, rarity, and aesthetic appeal. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1979 D penny is how collectors track market trends over time. Just as stock traders watch charts, coin enthusiasts monitor auction records, price guides, and dealer listings to see how values change. For instance, a spike in collector interest, perhaps sparked by an article, YouTube video, or coin show coverage, can temporarily boost prices for high-grade 1979 D pennies. Conversely, when a large batch of high-quality coins enters the market, prices may stabilize or even decline slightly. Understanding these dynamics requires not only knowledge of coin grades and varieties, but also an appreciation for collector psychology and supply-demand relationships. For many collectors, the hunt for a valuable 1979 D penny involves hands-on examination. They examine coins under magnification, looking for subtle clues. Is the Denver D mint mark perfectly struck, or is there a slight doubling? Is the Lincoln portrait crisp, with clear hairlines and coat folds, or slightly softened from wear? Does the reverse show the Lincoln Memorial in sharp relief, with all columns and steps perfectly defined? Even tiny details such as the reflective quality of the surface or the presence of subtle toning can influence how a coin is graded and valued. Experienced collectors develop a trained eye, able to distinguish the ordinary from the exceptional in seconds. The 1979 D penny also offers lessons in preservation and storage. Many uncirculated coins from this era lost value over the decades due to improper handling or storage. Fingerprints, exposure to air and moisture, or contact with other coins can leave marks that reduce desirability. That's why collectors use archival quality holders, coin capsules, or even professional grading services to protect their coins. Submitting a coin to a grading service, such as PCGS or NGC, not only preserves the coin, but also provides certification and a numeric grade, giving buyers confidence in authenticity and quality. A certified MS67 Red 1979 D penny commands far more interest than an ungraded coin of similar appearance, because collectors can trust the grade and invest with confidence. Market psychology also plays a role in value. Collectors tend to compete for top-tier examples, creating bidding wars and auctions that elevate prices. This is particularly true for coins with red coloration, flawless strikes, or unique characteristics. Even subtle variations, such as a slightly repunched mint mark, can spark bidding interest. While the vast majority of 1979 D pennies are ordinary, it's the outliers, the few that combine perfection, rarity, and historical appeal, that create the excitement and drive the market. History also enhances collectability. The 1979 D penny is not merely a piece of copper, it's a window into the late 20th century. During the late 1970s, the United States experienced inflationary pressures, energy crises, and shifts in manufacturing and currency production. Each penny minted during this time passed through millions of hands, serving as a witness to everyday life. When collectors handle a high-grade 1979 D penny, they connect not only with the minting process, but also with a slice of American history. This dual significance, financial and historical, is what makes coins like the 1979 D compelling to collectors around the world. Another way collectors approach the 1979 D penny is through comparison and study. They often line up pennies from multiple years or mints, analyzing differences in strikes, color, and surface quality. Comparing the 1979 D to its Philadelphia counterpart, the 1979 P, reveals subtle differences in luster, die quality, and minting precision. Some collectors specialize in mint mark varieties, studying how slight shifts in the D placement affect desirability. Others focus on surface quality, examining how storage conditions or circulation patterns have preserved or degraded coins. These meticulous studies add depth to collecting, turning what might seem like a simple penny into a lifelong pursuit of knowledge and discovery. Collector communities, both online and in person, play a critical role in shaping interest and value. Forums, social media groups, and coin clubs allow enthusiasts to share discoveries, auction results, and grading tips. A collector might post a photo of a particularly attractive 1979 D penny, sparking discussion about its grade, color, and potential auction value. These communities also educate newcomers, showing them how to identify top-grade examples and avoid common mistakes. Through these shared experiences, the story of the 1979 D penny continues to grow, connecting people across generations and geographies. Finally, it's essential to emphasize that true value in coins often combines both tangible and intangible elements. For the 1979 D Lincoln cent, tangible value comes from condition, color, mint mark, and rarity. Intangible value comes from historical significance, collector enthusiasm, and personal connection. A collector who discovers an MS67 Red 1979 D penny not only owns a rare coin, but also experiences the thrill of connecting with history, the artistry of coin design, and the excitement of the numismatic market. It's this blend of factors that makes coin collecting endlessly fascinating, turning a simple 1-cent piece into a collectible with the power to captivate imaginations and reward diligent research. As we continue our deep dive into the 1979 D Lincoln cent, it's important to talk about how collectors actually find valuable coins in the real world. Most people don't realize that while millions of 1979 D pennies exist, only a small fraction are preserved well enough to command serious interest. That's why knowledge, observation, and patience are crucial. Many top collectors begin by simply examining the pennies in their own change jars or at flea markets, coin shops, and estate sales. The process is part luck, part skill. You might not recognize the potential of a coin at first glance, but over time, your eye becomes trained to spot subtle differences, a sharper strike, a more vibrant red hue, a mint mark that seems slightly off-center. These are the details that turn a common penny into a collectible gem point. One of the most exciting experiences in coin collecting is the aha moment, when you realize a coin is exceptional. Imagine sifting through a handful of 1979 D pennies and spotting one that glows with its original red luster, with no scratches or marks from circulation. You pull out your magnifying glass and see the tiny details on Lincoln's coat and hair perfectly preserved, the memorial on the reverse crisp and sharp. That instant of discovery is part of why collectors love coins so much. It's the thrill of finding something rare and beautiful in what most people see as ordinary. Many collectors have stories of finding high-grade 1979 D pennies in rolls from banks, boxes of coins inherited from grandparents, or forgotten jars of loose change. These discoveries are often life-changing for hobbyists, giving them both joy and, sometimes, financial reward. Grading subtleties play a huge role in the coin's value. Even among uncirculated coins, grades vary based on tiny imperfections that only trained eyes can detect. The MS-60 to MS-68 grading scale is nuanced. A single scratch, a slight discoloration, or minimal contact marks can differentiate an MS-65 from an MS-66. The color is equally important. For the 1979 D penny, collectors prize coins that retain their original red coloration. These red, or RD, coins are far more desirable than those that have oxidized to brown, BN, or a mixture of red and brown, RB. The surface's reflectivity, the crispness of the design, and the absence of blemishes collectively determine whether a coin is collectible and how much it can sell for at auction. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC have standardized the evaluation process, making it easier for collectors to assess value. When a coin is graded, it receives a numeric designation and is often encapsulated in a protective holder, preserving it for decades. An MS-67 red 1979 D Lincoln cent in a certified holder can sell for thousands of dollars, while an ungraded coin of similar appearance might fetch significantly less. Certification gives buyers confidence, ensures authenticity, and protects both collector and investor interests. Many high-end collectors consider certified coins essential when buying or selling valuable 1979 D pennies. Preservation is another critical factor. Handling pennies improperly can quickly diminish value. Fingerprints, moisture, or contact with other coins can leave marks or cause toning, which may be attractive in some older coins, but generally decreases value for modern copper pennies like the 1979 D. Collectors often use cotton gloves or coin tongs when handling high-grade specimens, and they store them in archival quality holders or albums. Avoiding exposure to sunlight, humidity, and fluctuating temperatures is key to maintaining luster. Some collectors even keep their coins in controlled environments to prevent oxidation, ensuring that the red color remains vibrant for decades. Stories from collectors highlight just how rewarding this hobby can be. One enthusiast recalls finding a roll of 1979 D pennies in a local coin shop. Most coins were ordinary, but one stood out, glowing with brilliant red color. Upon closer inspection and professional grading, the coin turned out to be an MS-66 red, fetching over $1,500 at auction. Moments like these illustrate the combination of knowledge, patience, and luck that make coin collecting so thrilling. Another collector described inheriting a jar of pennies from a grandparent and discovering a pristine 1979 D among them, realizing that decades of careful storage preserved it in near-perfect condition. These personal stories give the coin life beyond its face value and illustrate how historical coins connect generations. Understanding market nuances also helps collectors make informed decisions. Auction houses, online marketplaces, and coin shows provide data on recent sales. Collectors often monitor these venues for trends, which grades are currently in high demand, which mint marks or varieties are fetching premiums, and how economic factors influence copper prices. While most 1979 D pennies remain common, top-grade examples are highly sought after. By studying these trends, collectors can buy, sell, and trade strategically, maximizing both financial and historical value. Collector strategies often focus on identifying subtle differences in minting quality. Even within the same year and mint, coins can exhibit differences in strike sharpness, luster, or small die variations. Some collectors specialize in spotting repunched mint marks, slightly off-center strikes, or minor die cracks. These subtle characteristics are not mistakes. They are variations that occurred naturally during the minting process and can make coins particularly appealing to specialized collectors. Knowledge of these details transforms coin collecting from casual hobby to precise, research-driven pursuit. The 1979 D Lincoln cent also teaches important lessons about the broader world of numismatics. Coins are not just currency. They are miniature pieces of art, history, and science. The design choices, composition, minting techniques, and circulation patterns reflect economic conditions, technological capabilities, and cultural priorities of their era. By studying a single penny, collectors gain insight into the Denver Mint's production methods, the evolution of coin design, and the enduring appeal of Lincoln's image. These lessons make collecting both intellectually stimulating and personally rewarding. Finally, the 1979 D Lincoln cent embodies the essence of why coin collecting endures. It connects people to history, rewards careful observation, and allows ordinary objects to become extraordinary. Even though most coins of this year are ordinary and common, the few high-grade specimens reveal what collectors value most: perfection, rarity, historical significance, and the joy of discovery. Each coin carries a story, bridging decades of American life and passing through countless hands, yet preserved for someone to appreciate today. This blend of art, history, and market dynamics is what gives the 1979 D Lincoln cent its enduring appeal, making it far more than a simple penny. Continuing our journey with the 1979 D Lincoln cent, it's fascinating to reflect on the environment in which these coins were produced. The Denver Mint in 1979 was a hub of activity, producing billions of coins for circulation across the United States. This facility, steeped in over a century of history, used high-speed presses capable of striking thousands of coins per hour. The workers in Denver oversaw every step, from feeding coin blanks into the presses to final inspection, ensuring that the vast quantities of pennies met the Mint's strict standards. While most of these coins entered circulation and quickly lost their pristine condition, a small number were set aside, perhaps forgotten in rolls or collections, eventually becoming some of the most sought-after 1979 D pennies today. The Denver Mint's production process in 1979 was a balance of efficiency and precision. Every coin blank had to be inspected for defects, weighed accurately, and fed into presses that struck Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the memorial on the reverse. Even slight misalignments, subtle variations in pressure, or tiny imperfections in the dies could result in coins with unique characteristics. These very nuances are what collectors look for decades later, as they differentiate ordinary coins from those with numismatic value. Coins with perfectly aligned mint marks, full red luster, and flawless strikes reflect the craftsmanship and meticulous control maintained at the mint, and it's these coins that now fetch top dollar in auctions. Collector success stories highlight just how rewarding the pursuit of these coins can be. One collector recounts purchasing a roll of pennies at a local coin shop for a nominal price, merely out of curiosity. Among the coins was a 1979 D Lincoln cent that appeared to have perfect red luster and no wear. After sending it for grading, the coin was certified MS66 red, immediately valued at over $1,200. Moments like this illustrate how knowledge, patience, and a trained eye can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a valuable asset. Other collectors have similar stories from family collections, estate sales, or coin shows, where a single exceptional 1979 D penny became the crown jewel of their collection. Auction highlights provide a fascinating lens into the coin's market dynamics. High-grade examples of the 1979 D Lincoln cent have consistently attracted attention from serious collectors. MS-66 red coins have been recorded selling for $1,200 to $2,000, while MS-67 red coins have achieved prices approaching $3,500 to $4,000. These auctions are often competitive, with multiple collectors bidding aggressively for the top specimens. The excitement surrounding these auctions underscores the importance of coin condition and certification. Even a single MS-66 red 1979D can spark bidding wars, showing how a tiny piece of copper can carry immense value when combined with rarity and perfection. Long-term preservation is essential for maintaining and potentially increasing the value of a 1979D penny. High-grade coins are most vulnerable to damage from handling, air exposure, and environmental factors. Collectors often use archival quality holders, hard plastic capsules, or certified grading slabs to protect their coins. They avoid touching the coin surfaces directly, instead using gloves or tongs, and store their coins in stable, climate-controlled environments to prevent oxidation and preserve the original red luster. Proper preservation not only protects a coin's grade, but also ensures that it remains appealing to future collectors and investors. Investment strategies are another aspect worth considering for high-grade 1979 D pennies. While most coins are purchased for personal enjoyment, many collectors view top-tier specimens as long-term investments. Coins in MS-66 red or higher tend to hold their value well and often appreciate over time, especially as fewer pristine coins from 1979 remain in circulation. By monitoring auction results, dealer listings, and market trends, collectors can make informed decisions about when to buy or sell, ensuring they maximize both the financial and historical value of their holdings. The historical significance of the 1979 D Lincoln cent also adds to its appeal. This coin is more than copper. It's a representation of an era in American history. The late 1970s were marked by economic challenges, energy crises, and social changes, and coins like the 1979 D circulated in a world very different from today. Owning one of these coins connects collectors to that period, allowing them to hold a tangible piece of history that has endured decades of circulation, storage, and careful preservation. The Lincoln cent, with its enduring design, serves as a bridge across generations, offering both aesthetic and educational value. Collector communities amplify the enjoyment and value of coins like the 1979 D penny. Online forums, social media groups, and coin clubs provide venues for enthusiasts to share discoveries, ask questions, and learn from experienced collectors. Members often post images of potential high-grade coins, discuss grading nuances, and analyze auction results. These interactions help new collectors develop a trained eye, learn proper preservation techniques, and understand market dynamics. The sense of community also adds intangible value to collecting, as enthusiasts share the thrill of discovery, the satisfaction of research, and the joy of owning a piece of history. Even the smallest details matter to collectors. The sharpness of Lincoln's coat folds, the clarity of his hair, and the crispness of the memorial columns can differentiate an MS-65 from an MS-67 coin. Minor surface blemishes, such as tiny contact marks or light scratches, may reduce a coin's grade, while full red color and brilliant luster enhance desirability. Experienced collectors often examine coins under magnification, comparing them to known examples, to assess condition accurately. This meticulous attention to detail is what elevates coin collecting from a casual hobby to a disciplined pursuit of knowledge, skill, and appreciation for historical artifacts. Ultimately, the 1979 D Lincoln cent exemplifies why coin collecting remains popular decades after its issuance. It combines history, artistry, scarcity, and market dynamics in a single, tangible object. From the bustling Denver mint presses that produced millions of coins to the hands of collectors today, each 1979 D penny carries stories of production, circulation, discovery, and preservation. Whether you hold one for personal enjoyment, historical interest, or investment potential, the coin serves as a reminder that even something as small and seemingly ordinary as a penny can hold extraordinary value. Collectors and enthusiasts continue to study, buy, sell, and preserve 1979D Lincoln cents, ensuring that their legacy endures. The story of this coin is far from over, and as more collectors discover, preserve, and celebrate these pennies, the fascination with the 1979D Lincoln cent grows stronger. In the world of numismatics, the intersection of history, artistry, and market value ensures that even the simplest penny can carry a legacy, rewarding curiosity, knowledge, and care with both tangible and intangible value. As we reach the final stage of our journey with the 1979D Lincoln cent, it's time to discuss rare error coins, those anomalies that make even a common year suddenly exciting. While the 1979D is generally considered a standard issue, the minting process was complex and subtle mistakes occasionally occurred. These errors include slightly off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, doubled dies, and minor planchet defects. While these errors are not widespread for the 1979D, when they do appear, they immediately attract collector attention. A penny with a noticeable off-center strike or a clearly repunched Denver D mint mark can command a premium, sometimes hundreds of dollars above a standard coin of the same grade. Collectors love these errors because each is essentially unique, a glimpse into the production process and a tangible deviation from the ordinary. Another factor that dramatically influences value is color and luster, especially the distinction between red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. For 1979D pennies, original red coins are the most desirable. The red color indicates that the coin's copper surface has been preserved almost perfectly, retaining the brilliant hue it had when it left the mint. Red-brown coins show partial oxidation, with a mix of red and brown tones, while fully brown coins have completely oxidized surfaces. Even though all these coins started as identical copper alloys, decades of circulation and storage conditions have created these differences. In the collector market, red coins typically command the highest prices, sometimes exponentially higher than their brown counterparts, because true original red coins from 1979D are relatively scarce. High-end auction examples highlight the incredible range of values these coins can reach. For instance, an MS-67 red 1979D penny has been recorded selling for nearly $3,995, while an MS-66 red might sell for $1,500 to $2,000. Even MS-65 red coins can fetch several $100s, far above face value. Meanwhile, circulated or lower-grade coins remain largely worth face or just a few cents above due to copper value. The lesson is clear. The combination of condition, color, and certification defines the market. It's this spectrum of potential value, from ordinary to extraordinary, that makes the 1979D Lincoln cent endlessly fascinating. For collectors, there are several strategies to maximize the potential of a 1979D penny. First, always examine coins carefully. Use magnification to check for surface marks, mint mark variations, and sharpness of design. Look closely at Lincoln's hair and coat folds, the details in the memorial columns, and the crispness of the strike. Second, consider color. Coins with strong red surfaces should be prioritized for grading or preservation. Third, store coins properly in archival quality holders or capsules to maintain luster and prevent damage. Avoid touching the surfaces directly, and keep coins in stable environments with minimal humidity and temperature fluctuations. For beginner collectors, the 1979D Lincoln cent is an excellent starting point. It's common enough to acquire multiple examples without significant expense, yet rare enough in high grades to teach valuable lessons about grading, preservation, and market evaluation. Beginners can practice distinguishing red, red-brown, and brown coins, learn how to identify minor errors, and gradually develop a trained eye for coin quality. Over time, these skills become invaluable, whether collecting Lincoln cents or other U.S. coins. The 1979D Lincoln cent also emphasizes the broader joy of coin collecting. Beyond value, coins connect us to history, art, and culture. Each penny carries a story, from the Denver Mint presses where it was struck to the hands of everyday Americans who used it for decades, to the modern collector who carefully examines, preserves, and perhaps even sells it. In holding a high-grade 1979D, you are touching history, appreciating artistic craftsmanship, and participating in a global community of collectors who value precision, rarity, and historical significance. As we conclude this journey, it's worth remembering that even though most 1979D pennies are ordinary in circulation, the few exceptional coins highlight the extraordinary potential hidden in seemingly mundane objects. Whether you are motivated by history, artistry, or investment potential, the 1979D Lincoln Cent demonstrates that every coin has a story, and that story can be richly rewarding for those willing to learn, observe, and preserve. In the end, the 1979D Lincoln Cent is far more than a 1-cent piece. It's a bridge between decades, a reflection of minting craftsmanship, and a portal into the past. From casual collectors discovering a pristine penny in a jar to experienced numismatists bidding thousands at auction, this coin continues to inspire curiosity and admiration. It reminds us that even in something as small as a penny, there is immense history, artistry, and value waiting to be appreciated. So whether you hold a 1979D penny in your hand today, or simply study it from afar, remember that it represents decades of human history, minting precision, and collector fascination. Its journey from the Denver Mint to your hands, through countless transactions and decades of circulation or storage, is a story worth understanding and preserving. And in that story lies the true magic of the 1979D Lincoln Cent, a coin that transforms ordinary copper into extraordinary history, artistry, and potential value. Thank you for joining this comprehensive exploration of the 1979D Lincoln Cent, a coin that may seem small but carries an enduring legacy, captivating collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. This is the beauty of coin collecting, discovering that even the simplest penny can contain layers of history, artistry, and excitement that reach far beyond its humble face value.